Peace, peace, peace unto you. Give an honor to Source, give an honor to the All Big Mama, the Most High. Just gratitude, if wherever you are now, just breathe. Stop what you're doing and just take a moment and breathe. Okay. I'll let you get your breath. And when you breathe in through your nose, stick out your stomach. And when you breathe out, are you aware you're breathing? Okay. This is going to be a very interesting topic. I'm just so honored because a lot of things come to me, and I know that, it's an honor to just deliver a message, whether I'm honored to because it can be triggering for some, but it's all a part of just everything coming up and out, because we're healing over here. We really are healing over here. I don't kick my shoes off. Put this down here. I don't kick my shoes off. I'm in my zone. I recently just saw something, and the topic at hand, and I just want to show this image off because this is one of my favorite images in my sketchbook. This is like watercolor. Y'all tap in with me because this is going to be everywhere. I would love to see this like on a shirt or just everywhere. It's going to be on billboards everywhere. Because a lot of which people are so sensitive to the anatomy of human or the body or creation. Like this is like the balance and the foundation and how those hands are stability. This represents everything. Not to mention it looks like an unk. So I love this image and I'm ready to release it, but it's gonna happen the way it's supposed to. Anywho, I'm in my creative element, but I got a message for you all. Today, this is about, and I don't really get into a lot of titles when it comes to, but this message today is going to be postpartum depression and how it's very important. And I'm gonna get into different topics or different aspects of a lot of the meaning of which really just gonna come out. It's gonna flow naturally because there's so much healing, so much coming up, so much we're healing from, we're healing through. Then when we get to another level, more is layers are being peeled back away like an onion. Coming to the realization of how much unhealed wounds that we've had that's been passed through the wombs of our mothers, and more so how we are like, those of you are like a catalyst for the elders. You are the Josephs, if you know the Bible well, or if you know the feeling of what they call the black sheep, the chosen, or whatever it is, but more so, or becoming of who you knowing. And it's like the pain is the gain, and it's like you're being pushed into your knowing because these people were purposely on your path. And that's a lot of what I've came to peace with. But again, getting on the topic of what they call postpartum depression. Someone I was talking to the other day was talking about depression. And I was looking at these words, depression, what is it? What was it? Depression. I know depression was one. And I was looking at the word pressure. Just a lot of those words, I was looking at how, depression, expression. A lot of these words, when you look at how I break stuff down so I see things differently, and I'm looking at these words, I'm like, hold on. A lot of this has to do with pressure. Or you start to see things from a duality, like how things come to be. So, and it's so important, that image that I just showed to you on how the topic at hand is postpartum depression. And a lot of men will not say this, but I'm here to not only speak I'm speaking from the feminine as carrying feminine energy, being that I'm from a woman. But I'm not speaking in the term of male and female. I'm not speaking in term of like sex or anything that divides feminine and masculine energy. I'm speaking from a place of energies. We carry both feminine and masculine energies. I am a vessel to express from the feminine internal and expressing it from masculine, from spiritual to the physical, in the sense of like, from the soul, the feminine, from the darkness, and then express it. So, that being said, how could I break this? It's like, it's important to see a masculine, or I'm going to use the term man, for me, as in a sense, like, for women to actually see this version, which again, I'm a reflection of you. And I always tell people, men are not separate from women. All men were in the womb at some point a woman, but if you want to talk about extended, staff or whatever, but in clitoris, but in a sense, it's more so of how a lot of this is talking about creation, and then me diving deep into the depths of expressing how karmically we come together for lessons, and more so how what I say this a lot is what is not acknowledged will someday, what is hidden will someday fight to be acknowledged. And so I do know that I am here to speak so that it can bring forth awareness and to bridge the gap with both men and women, being that we learning to heal the aspects from the feminine, the matriarchal, in the patriarchal aspect, because fuck all the finger pointing, we're not doing that. It's accountability and healing here. So from my experience with, and this, I'm just gonna be just so fucking blunt with y'all. Women, mothers, grandmothers, especially like when we're going back to the originality of it all, the origins of it all, and seeing what has happened, not only here on the land, but globally with women. And I've expressed this, done my studies on this, and just seeing the pain from even knowing women who have almost died at birth, have been, how could I say, have been, and this is from my mother and other women that have actually came out their mouth and told me this. And I know there will come a point where they'll speak on this, but a lot of which I know, a lot of people sometimes are consumed by the fear or fear of doubt, or have doubt that no one will actually believe their truth. But I'm honored to actually have this platform to speak about this, because my mother was also a victim, but also now I know I represent the victory, because like I said, she told me about things that happened with her. There's other women that have been basically like lab rats or studied on. They removed their fucking, they had their ovaries and a lot of stuff removed without permission. And I feel for these women, because my mom told me about stuff that happened to her like this. Other women have told me about how they were cut on without permission. And a lot of this comes back full circle, and a lot of them don't know how to express this. A lot of them maybe don't have that man present, that masculine present in a way that's there for balance, protection, whether physical or they're afraid, man. They aren't secure within themselves because they maybe didn't have a grandmother or grandparent, somebody that also probably went through similar experiences because of either rape, sometimes incest, sometimes things that they deem as normal, okay, and then this shit comes back around, and psychologically, mentally, they're imbalanced, or they're mentally ill, or they're demonized because they want to speak about what has happened or haven't happened. And the truth of the matter is, this is what a lot of it's coming to light, because I met so many people, well, so many women. I probably will meet so many more, and it isn't talked about much, because this is going to lead right into the postpartum thing about what I actually was connected to mama, the matriarchal, and what men also experience because we're connected to women. So when my mom told me about certain things that happened to her, because a lot of women are tampered with, a lot of things that happen in these hospitals, a lot of things that happen everywhere that people don't fucking talk about, which now are coming full circle. A lot of people are afraid that the voice speak up, and I've experienced it too. And let me go into detail. What happens a lot is that, first of all, a lot of these women are in these places, not to mention the environment is cold, not to mention it's a whole psychological, spiritual warfare, because they're being told so many things, and at the same time, they don't know how to be secure within themselves because it was never taught to them to actually be more connected to self, more connected to their wombs, more connected to how the baby actually helps them with the stem cells, how the baby and the mother are working, helping, healing each other hand in hand, how the placenta is created before the embryo, how the baby feeds off the embryo. Feeds off the placenta per se, excuse me. But, from the tubes, how it cleanses itself. It's so amazing. Like, the creation is so amazing. But again, psychologically, if you tell a woman, like, this has to happen, you have to get shot in the back, epidural, all these other things, cut, scar tissue. My motherfucking mother is experiencing this right now. She recently had to go to the hospital because she still, to this day, and this is why I talk about this shit, because judgment is going to be upon these people, and I know it. I'm not the one to judge, but mama is going to bring her hand down, because these wounds or these women will be healed for some. The others is beyond my control, but I know things that they can call you crazy and all this now, but that's something I know that's higher, that is going to bring forth divine judgment and justice to what the fuck has taken place here. I've seen my mother go through pain because of the scar tissue never healing, and they know this. You got to be wicked and to know that you're not going to be judged by the blood that's on these people's hands. This is what's not talked about, because a lot of it's been manipulation, greed, a lot of things that have been happening. And this is why the medical industry, a lot of this stuff, people think there's not any type of spiritual shit that's in there. There's no type of wickedness. If you look at Walgreens, if you look at a lot of these medical places, look at the bowl. Look at how it's symbolism. Look at how these things are. They don't call the things where you mix grain or where you break down. Some sisters know what I'm talking about. When you break down certain minerals and stuff. And again, the biggest drug industry is what? The medical industry. This shit doesn't help the body. And then a lot of you are being called to what? Learn to what? Reconnect with your ancestral, to know that you reconnect with the herbs. You're being called to do those things. And of course, that people that are not in tune and don't know nothing about nature and mother, they're going to obviously, or daughter earth, they're obviously going to say, oh, well, that's demonized, that's wicked, that's this and that. But then they know their mama's been throwing salt by the door, using herbs, doing this and doing that. So shut the fuck up with that. Because the truth of it all is that it's all coming full circle. Who am I? I'm not someone you should be afraid of. It's not me you should be afraid of, because there's many that's with me. And the thing I honor the most is that how can y'all sit back and not say nothing? I use this platform because I've seen what the women that look like me, but the origins of the women that what I come from, and not all people are, a lot of people are a part of it. Because I'm not the one to judge and see people that work for the medical industry. I'm not one to judge that, but it's judgment coming to that, because it's not just that. All these systems are corrupted. But what you have done to women and what you do to mama, you do to the father and the son and the daughter. So again, like, it was beyond my control, but my mama recently returned and was like, it was my scar tissue because of the shit that they removed the ovaries, bro. That affects the fact that what goes on in her womb, not to mention a lot of these things, a lot of our men, especially melanated women. Let me tell y'all something, we're going through so much tremendous healing right now because, first of all, it was meant to divide the family any kind of way. It was meant to divide, the family, the tribe, in any kind of way. To keep the imbalance, to keep, it's not even, they don't even want us in a hospital with y'all because they want y'all in there. Because when you're so vulnerable, you're at the most vulnerable place because you're trying to you want this to be as easy as possible, as beautiful and miraculous. And what most of our women to this very day that are now learning what natural birth is, most of y'all now are finally realizing that birth is not painful. They're going to be like, oh, I'm not saying this for you to come from me, but you will ask a midwife or a doula who really is in tune, who know, who you're seeing it. It's coming full circle now. If you're made up of water, your baby is inside of you is water, mostly water. It makes a lot of sense for you to be in water to have a natural birth, whether it's meant to be that way. And or when you see how naturally, when they say the baby come down the canal is like a river of water, naturally. Like, the jig is up, man. I've seen that shit. I seen the mother of I had to see co-creation. I had to see why this shit is wild, man. The psychological warfare on this, man. Y'all naturally, when that baby come, ain't nothing stopping it. But what has happened is they're gonna do anything to push those kids faster and to induce you into labor or whatever it is. Listen to the word labor, it just sound hard, man. Y'all don't know. I feel mama. Mama tells me to speak about this shit. I'm connected to mama. I've seen this shit. It make no sense they get y'all in and this shit's wild as fuck. Y'all letting go all this blood and immediately soon, you don't even get to enjoy your fucking birth. You don't even get to enjoy the life. They immediately get the child. Some women don't even get to enjoy the touch. This shit is important, skin to skin. Because the first thing I tell people, there's no such thing for a man, father to come. You can never come in, man, let me make this clear. You can never come in between a mother and her cub, her child. Because first thing is this. The first thing you know, everyone, man, woman, boy, girl, I don't care. The first thing you know when you come into this world, and the first thing you're going to remember is your mother's heartbeat. Is your mother's, that rhythm. That's the first rhythm that you know. Now, I don't speak on people that are not, no, I'm just letting you know. So what's not talked about is how a lot of these birth, and you wonder why people mentally, you know, a lot of stuff, spiritual warfare, our mothers, and this, I'm speaking of both men and women. Your mother, some of them doing drugs, then they induce women with more drugs. So this shit is passed through the wombs. That survival mentality, all these things pass just so we can now face it, speak about it, express it, break generational chains, hexes, curses. A lot of men have never saw creation. What do I mean by that? A lot of men never have been there. They didn't even get the opportunity to actually see a life. You see how beautiful this shit is? I'm putting this shit piece by piece. How amazing this shit is for a man to carry something and to be able to release it, and then something so little becomes so grand and amazing in that process of how creation comes. So how can you or anybody else come to me and tell me I'm not divine, I'm not great, I didn't come from something so amazing? Everything about me is divine. From the hair, everything here is a reflection of mother and the father, the energies, the ones that came before me. But again, mothers, a lot of men have never. It'll change their whole perception on life when they see that thing go from that to this, and then they go, boo. So again, everyone's perception is going to be completely different on how we all see life. Not to mention after that, and I don't give a fuck about the title postpartum depression. It ain't even about being depressed. This is what it is that the whole misconception is that life begins after. Man, soon as that heart is beating, that placenta is being created, all these things are happening. And in that whole process of creation, before that heart is even beating, that soul, this is what people don't know. I believe it's approximately like 3 to 4 months where the heart is already, no, actually it's a couple weeks in. Y'all can research this, but I know the heart, it's a point to where the heart is beating. Then it comes to a point that the actual spirit, soul comes in. And that's said to believe to be the soft spot in the head to where the soul or spirit comes into the body. This is why a lot of which abortion is not accepted after a certain amount of months. Because that soul, that spirit is in that body. Y'all don't think about shit like that. This shit is deeper than that, bro. That's why, again, I'm not one to throw stones or whatever it is, but a lot of shit coming full circle, and a lot of shit is done. Because a lot of people know they had their hands in a lot of shit that's untold, but it's coming out. A lot of women, so many women have suffered from this. So many of our ancestors have suffered from this. People being raped, and, you know, through the fact of the love that they have. I've met elders who have went through this, being forced on, and just the resilience, and they still love the child. They still embrace them. Not to mention the fact of a mother mentally accepting the fact that she was forced on, and still trying to love a child in this world, knowing that she may not ever be with this man, or this child may not ever have a father. There's so much shit that goes unsaid, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all think this shit is a joke. I ain't doing this shit for fun. This shit is fucking healing over here, bruh. When I had to see a woman have a whole child, and all that blood is released, which is your oxygen, which is water, and to see how they immediately come and grab the baby. Do you need this? Do that? Can you just leave her the fuck alone and let her process? They don't even give you time to process that you just released a whole nother being out of your booty. Not your butt, but you know what I'm saying. Out of a portal, like, I don't even expect motherfuckers to really, like, these fools to really, these wicked people to really think about, like, y'all never even see life come into it, because too many of them trying to take it, try to prevent it. Now you got women out here trying to do their best to live in peace, not to mention knowing the father's not going to be there, not to mention they're trying to do everything just for this child not to be or experience what they've experienced. Y'all don't get it. I know, I feel it, man. That's the thing about postpartum. You want to talk about depression, everything. The thing about a life, a soul, karmically, is that child, that being is going to illuminate, and everything is going to come up and out that can no longer be hidden in the father and mother. Nothing. This is why they can call it postpartum depression, when really it's everything that has been suppressed, expressed. Yep. And that's how these, if you want to, these souls that come, and if you want to call them kids, they come to illuminate everything that can no longer be hidden. And then those of you that are consciously, that's aware, they come purposely so you can change the whole narrative and break every generational chain. And you will realize when you come to this awareness on, now you see what you're doing was never in vain. Some people never get this. You don't have to force it. But for those that are aware, that's on this path, you know that you become more aware and become more elevated mentally, because you had to go through that lower state, and then all these things, traumatic experience, childhood, everything comes out about the father and the mother, because you're connecting with this person, and karmically, whatever came with their family, they're also facing, and it's coming up. Whatever came with his family is also coming up and out. This shit is deeper than you think. You just laying down with somebody. It's bigger. It's creation. Nothing can be no longer hidden. That we're going to heal. We're going to heal from the root. Everything is going to come up with grandma and grandpa did. Everything is going to come up from the spiritual gifts, the spiritual curses, the hexes. Everything is going to come up. You're going to see who you really are. You're going to see why people are now rebelling and choosing their sanity and peace, and these women deserving their birthright to do what they really want to with what was given to them. I don't have the power to tell a woman what to do with her body. What was the vessel she was given. That's not my judgment. That's not my judgment. Look at the bigger picture. Why certain things were put in neighborhoods. Look at the bigger picture. Now the table is turning, the tide has shifted. There's so many things I can speak about this, but I'm letting y'all know, like, nothing can be no longer hidden, especially when the calling is calling your ass. And you're here to share a message. And now you're going to see warriors step up, men, and speak about this and advocate and stand for the very women that stood and protected me along my journey, for the matriarchal who started all of this, for the warriors in Haiti, for the ancestors that's around the world who sacrificed themselves. Yeah. I've seen what man can do, but I know what mama can do. I know what women really can do when they stand in there, when they're really in their divine and honoring their femininity and choosing to heal that relationship with their father. See, this is the thing. Fuck the whole postpartum depression shit. It's the suppressed emotions from your mama's matriarchal that is coming up and out that you as a woman, as a mother, has to face, because this shit is so deep to where you think you're carrying a seed, but that seed is carrying a seed. That whenever that child comes out, either that's going to be a son that's going to be able to plant seeds in another woman, or that's going to be a woman who's most of the time connected, that represents and reflect the matriarchal, who's going to nurture the future generations, who is going to love the future generations, who's going to embrace the future generations, as so as the son who is a patriarchal, who's going to, whichever mother he has at the time is going to, direct him or guide him in a way, whether, what it is to reflect back and receive from the feminine, from the woman, as to with the baby, the girl, or the baby girl, or like the princess. This is why this shit is being restored. Their balance is being restored within. Because look at the daughters, the princesses of the world. They need to know the value of who they are within. This is the balance that's being restored. So fuck all that shit, y'all, all that material shit you're trying to teach them, and be like this. And look at these people who's trying to direct these little women, these wicked ass, possessed ass people out here that don't know nothing about righteousness. That's still running from their shit. They won't even survive what the new wave and the new world is about to be. So how can y'all point the finger at these people? What about accountability? I always get on my women, and they know who they are. I'm always on y'all ass, because guess what? I want you to be, hold me accountable just as much as I hold you accountable. Love on yourself. I need you to love yourself. I need you to heal your wounds. I need you to be there for you. So your son and or princess, king, or whoever coming after you, so they know the value within. Know that all this shit here is nothing but a fucking illusion, and all this come and go. So again, everything's supposed to come up that has been passed down ancestrally, so the generation after can be greater. Everything's supposed to come up. Shit that's been hidden for generations, and what connects you ancestrally to this land, and why you're connected here, why you living here, why these habits and all these things, why you're no longer wanting to do these things and be connected to more of your soul or cosmic family. Come on, man. Iron sharp as iron. This is about developing we're coming into partnerships, unions, divine unions, that's going to know the power within themselves, so they can stand with each other, and there's no, being hesitant there. This is just what it is. We're elevating. Of course, there's going to come resistance with the people, family around you, because they're just a catalyst. They just push you into your shit. They're not, of course, they're going to disagree that. Why would I expect them to get this shit when it was given to me? Are you surprised that mom doesn't agree with you? The way you want to, that the way that the source, the creator, has given you the knowledge to bring forth a higher awareness, different eating habits, another environment that's peaceful and harmonious, a more of an abundant life where less is more. But at the same time, you realize it's not being attached as they were attached emotionally to what you do and how you do it. Same for the fathers. You know what I'm saying? What are you really setting up for your future generations that's not just focused on the money, material stuff? Come on, man. That's why, again, I speak to the nation. I speak to the women. Women are known to carry forth and keep all this together. They can destroy and they can recreate. It's gonna, so what? Can't touch this. I'm delivering this shit. Hey, look, you got mail. But again, a lot of things I knew I had to become aware of, because there is a lot of you are reclaiming your power. You came here to reclaim the power of your fucking lineage, bruh. I know there's no strong, in tune men in my lineage. Like, not to say past, but I'm talking about present in this lifetime for me. But the son that will come after me, he will know that importance. As to the princess, they will know. So again, this goes back to like a lot of why we come so hard down on each other or beat each other up or beat ourselves up, is because you got to realize a lot of this is a process. First of all, you're unlearning the lies and societal standards of what it is to, first of all, be a woman, to be a man, in this bullshit. Because when you see a righteous man or a man that's in tune, why would I be consumed about all this material stuff? That's a lot of baggage to me. People may perceive it differently. That doesn't mean that having or living a life, if you want to call it luxury, somebody else may call it differently, but it's a different perception and perspective on how to go about it. A lot of us had to come and realize the things that has happened in our family now to change the whole trajectory, the narrative on going by it, so this loop doesn't fucking continue. So that this ease doesn't continue in the family. Some of you come along so you can change that whole narrative of living, because you see the whole trending, all this shit trending now. Everybody want to be this. Man, shut the fuck up with that, because y'all not really like that. Y'all not living that shit. Because y'all quick to get some shit and judge the folks out here, man. Not knowing what these people going to do, not knowing who the fuck are you to throw the stone at them people and then run and hide your hand. People really out here hurting. They hurting. They going through shit. Some people going through it and with no help. That's like, imagine, I've seen mothers going through a pregnancy with, that's I bind every motherfucking curse, chain, hex, all that shit, and return the sender that has kept our mothers, especially the ancient mother and the motherfucker in the loop. And return the sender. That shit is released. That's done. This is why mama has taken her rightful place upon her throne. She's pissed. I heard an elder say, like, you know how it feels, and those of you that did have a mother, you know, or maybe didn't, I still sending love to you, because some people didn't get that opportunity. Some people got opportunities where they had mothers or people, and it wasn't good. You got, man, much love to those that had to grow up in group homes. Some people that got molested. I don't know why this is coming to me. Certain stuff that happened. People had babies through this. People still trying to mentally grasp the idea, like, did this happen to me? People go through that, then they go down a whole journey of prostitution, or go this journey of giving their self away because they don't know what else to do. This is why a lot of us come here to break those chains and try to advocate and speak and share a message and let people know I understand and overstand. I'm not saying I was in that experience, what happened to you. I cannot change that. But I'm sending love to you that you can weather the storm and know that there is a rainbow after that storm. There is sun after that storm. Because a lot of what y'all call men is what's been given to you, the perception of a man. And most of these dudes, they're gonna run and hide. They're afraid of themselves. They're afraid of death. They don't know who they are without their career and status and all that shit. I'm speaking about shit that's like, experience is the greatest teacher. And as a student and seeing what has happened in these communities, in these environments that no longer can be brushed up under the rug, where we're speaking that women now will be in a place where, you know, all that are in alignment will be in a place where they can be live in an environment prosperously, harmoniously, divinely guided and protected. It's go time. Because they here, we here. Ain't no motherfucking fear. It is what it is. And some of you know, I be letting women know, like, you do know this lifetime, like, you can co-create with someone, but you know within your spirit that sometimes you have to, we finna make a lot of, like, higher up decisions at a crossroad. For some of us, we're gonna choose peace. Some people may not even choose their family. Some people may have to walk away from certain things. It's deeper. It's so much deeper because everyone's not emotionally attached to certain things as everyone, you know, other people are. But again, I come back to the fact of, like, this is healing that's happening. A lot of people getting a wake-up call. A lot of people going through their whole spiritual warfare right now. Some may not even come out of this shit. But just know, even women, you're not the only one that goes through so much emotion and going through what that, do you really know what it realize when a man is, depending on who it is, like how it feels for him to be apart from that child. Because I don't know the dynamics of what women, like people experience in their connections, but this is why you're seeing the whole false narrative of people marriages and so many other things, and you know, even the mothers, because it ain't always the man. It's even the mothers that, again, been so attached to this and neglecting this and no longer can neglect themselves, and so now spirit is forcing you to heal your shit. This is why a lot of men are stepping up or being called to the forefront certain things, because we know, y'all don't tell us this, but this shit been ongoing so long. We know y'all need a mental. I know you're mentally, spiritually, physically tired. Because you got to see all the pain, all the things that have been carried. And now it's like a floodgate opening. And people are fucking losing it, bruh. And you gotta talk about how the trust, the security within self, learning to love yourself again, the emotion, stability, so many things that is centered around just trying to be you. Yes, you without the car, you without the career, the status, the you that needs to be nurtured and loved on, and then being surrounded and being embraced by people who love and receive you for not beyond just this physical shit, beyond just what your body. It's an identity crisis when you see a lot of women going out there doing these things that, you know, is it really love? Do they really love themselves? Do they even love you? You love, so it's wild identity crisis, man. How do y'all love these people or whoever these people? How do you not love you more? When is that point? When is it gonna come to that when you start to love you? And I know you're like, hey, how do you do that? I didn't even know how until I really start to sit with my emotions, start to really sit with myself. I start to pay attention to the fucking patterns and the delusion that people live in, the family, the lies they tell themselves, the lies you've been telling yourself. When is it gonna stop? The lies you've been telling your kids to cover up because of survival. I know you're saying, like, how? What do you mean? I mean, why do y'all think a lot of this stuff is crashing down anyway? It's purposeful. when they cut off the Social Security, food, when they cut off all this stuff, because it was designed this way to be prepared. Don't you want to live a life where you're secure? How is that secure dependent on something that's codependent? You're learning now to be interdependent on your intuition, on your spiritual gifts, on the love that's always been there, on the connection to God, to source. Why do you think I always tell women we need you? You are needed. The women that know that are doing the inner work, the shadow work, the silent cries. We need you to cry shit. We need you to express what's going on. Shit, man. The fuck? That shit is not weak. I need you to speak, to think highly, the fucking highest of yourself. Yes, I need you to, so our daughters, so the princesses can know. You're restoring the princess within yourself. When are you going to pay attention to her? Pay attention to her, so she knows if something happens to you, that. So now these other mothers can come together, that you'll realize your story ain't much different than hers. It's just your song. You hold a vibration. You carry a certain vibration, a harmony. Whether you sang it verbally, whether you write it, do art. You'd be surprised how much it inspires, how much it'll bring people together. Different cultures, creeds, and everything. Man, come on, man. What the fuck going on? This shit ain't always gonna be pretty. But what good is the storm, the rain, without the sun? What good is it? Everybody want to look at the flower in the garden and, oh, look at this, and oh, this is so beautiful. But what about what it took to get there? I'm telling you now. I know. I'm letting you know. That's why I love what I do with the arts and everything, because I had to learn. I had to see why my journey, what it was, and see my mama go through that shit, to see her and talk about that shit, man. I felt that. I felt that for so long, because a lot of us try to fault others and our parent and, the gardens that we had, but I'm telling y'all, they were our catalyst. Like something within my mom just knew something. I know you're about to do something great, even though I could never verbally say it to you. Even though sometimes they will never come out and say it, something within them, you still inspiring them with your story, with you speaking about your pain, with you speaking about what you have experienced. Do it. Let me see your fucking superpower. I want to see your superpower. I love to see your superpower, because you're you're a superhero. You know that, right? That's what makes you amazing. That's what makes you brilliant, because you got the courage to speak up when people in your family and anyone else wouldn't do it. See, that's what those entities and spirits and all those shits that wants to keep the family and people in a loop, they don't want you to say nothing. They don't have no power. Because the power, they only have power when when you assume and allow it to have power. But once you start to call your energy back and realize, like, you know what, I got the strength to do this. I know I can do this. I can speak up about this. That's called legacy. That's called when you speak up and say something. Yes, you may get a response from other people, because that's that spirit releasing itself and going somewhere else where it knows it goes to another host, where it knows it can know, or actually flee from that family. When you speak up and speak and let that shit know you don't have no power over here. Nothing. You got to go and not return. That spirit of molestation, that's that incubus spirit, that spirit of that hex and that curse, all those things that have tried to keep, the women and delusion and confusion. That spirit, we denounce that. We renounce it. Remove it from your presence. So then moving forward, you let those people go. You'll see why all that comes up then when they start to act the way they do. And start to realize, like, because it can no longer be hidden. They mask fall. And all of a sudden now, boom. Now you start to realize when you release that burden. Like, I can relax now. I can be me. And now I can leave this world knowing that I stood in my truth. I had the courage. I spoke up. I was rebellious. And now those that come after me will also live in their truth. But they'll live in harmony and peace and abundance. They'll be divinely guided and protected. Y'all supposed to break those fucking chains and generational and shit, because hearing like how, man, I'm telling you, grew up in so much environments where, no, I'm not having it no more. No one's gonna call me out my name. No one's gonna speak to me this way. No woman. Because I see how those seeds are planted. You know what I'm saying? This shit is generational. When y'all gonna take it into account? Stop talking to these little boys, these little men like this. You should be fucking tired of that shit. Then wonder why the energy you put out returns to you. Where's the accountability? Stop fucking blaming everybody for some shit that you can do. Talk to somebody about it. I know it ain't that easy for some people, but there are people that are gonna come about. Let it out. Even if you can't talk to someone, write it down. Share it in the note. It ain't always got to be verbal. Share it in the note. Burn it. Release it. We all do things in our unique way. But get that shit out, man. It's time. We're purging. We healing. Collectively, we're healing. Ain't no more hiding and running from this shit. We standing in the face of adversity. And we letting the motherfucker know, nigga, what? What is it? What you gonna do? Die? Okay, that's gonna happen to us all. But spiritually, motherfucker, I don't what? This don't happen plenty of times. But you can't destroy what's built over here now. We don't build something that won't ever be destroyed. Because it's built upon truth and love. And if I love you, and in the words of James Baldwin, is it James Baldwin? Yeah, yes. If I love you, then I'm gonna make you consciously or aware of the things that you do not see. And I can't make you see it, but sometimes if I verbally say it, it may plant a seed and come around. But enough of that fucking speaking to these young people like that, man. You ain't this, you ain't that, da 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 da. Man, do you not realize what that does to a young man, someone? It ain't even just it's the youth, but do you know what that does? Shit. That shit lingers in their mind. That's also generational curses and witchcraft. You speaking shit, speaking stuff. It's like you looking at a seed, and that's your seed, so you're speaking these things only because your mama did that shit, and your grandma spoke to you that way, and your father and all like that. That shit is weak. That shit is stupid. That's the stupidity. That's the ignorance. Fucking do better, man. Come on, y'all. It ain't all of y'all. But I know this message is for whoever is supposed to reach. But some of us wholeheartedly, genuinely are going to do whatever it is to protect and be guardians as we should. But we know that being more in tune and secure within ourselves, we know now, and more than just knowing, it's about being secure within ourselves moving forward. That it's just expecting great, expecting amazing, expecting beautiful. Because again, a lot of us are coming out of that mentality, man. All those shit. Once that shit start breaking free, and you start to realize and looking past the material, looking past the illusion, and you start to realize, like, wow, hold on. I am great. Yes, you are great. I am amazing. I am amazing. I'm beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Now let me start from scratch. And then you'll start aligning with other women and men or people that have come along. Your energy is energy, actually, the feminine, as you align the feminine and masculine principles. You know, it took a while for me when you unlearn this shit
And then now you got to program and rewire your mind to actually believe and know that, wow, great things can happen to me. That's a psychological warfare that has been, bro, the spell that people have been under that's been broken. A lot of people been in environments, they don't think nothing can happen other than just fucking living in this mindset and being in this environment. No, it can change for you. And it will, and it shall. As above, so below. As within, so without. Ashe. So yes, start saying yes to your fucking dreams. Start saying yes to what you're here to do. Yes. Because the only reason a lot of y'all tell these kids no is because you were told fucking no. And really, they only know yes. And a lot of what y'all do, y'all prey on the fucking weak. Ain't nothing weak about people. Because they finna show you. Eventually, that lion roars. Eventually, when people haven't eaten, they start to fight back. They're going to come in and get some food. In the words of the prophecy of Tupac, what you think finna happen here soon? You ain't finna, no longer will y'all kick people while they down. Ain't finna be preying on people's vulnerability no more now. We here. Peace. Shalom.